What's up, Milwaukee and the world? It's your girl, Brandy Iberia. Get excited. Listen, y'all, it's another one of our pop up interviews in the interim between transitioning from radio to streaming network and all of the things that God has going on. We would be remiss if we didn't stop and take moments to chat with amazing folks doing amazing things right here in our city and beyond. And so, the amazing Latonya Baker, I'm so excited to talk to this sister. I actually met her. I heard her. Listen, I heard of her before I actually met her. And for some people, that's not a good thing. But for this sister, it was an amazing thing. I heard Latonya Baker. She's a good person. Oh yeah, she's a giver. She's a sower. She believes in you. She's a trendsetter. I heard all of these things before I got to see her beautiful face. And I happened to be sitting across from her during an event, My Sister's Keeper, during an amazing event by Tina and Shelly, My Sister's Keeper. And she was being honored for an award, and my amazing mother was being honored for another award. And I was like, and what caught my eye was the dress. I said, wait a minute, this sister right here can dress. And the way she was sitting in the dress, I just said, honey, she's royalty. And so we're going to talk about her event. It's all going to come together. She's beyond a trendsetter. She's beyond a fashionista. She's a person after God's own heart. She has service at her core. She is just a giver. And I'm blessed to have her on the show. And I would be remiss if I didn't announce also that she was one of the first sponsors for the Saved and the City Christian Network 5-year anniversary celebration. And I do not take that lightly, and I firmly live by this. The abundance that you create in the lives of others will overtake you in your own life, right? And so this is what she does without thought, huh? She's a giver without thought, not frivolous, but a giver in the sense of, oh, you need, I got you, right? And so because of that, she can pull on the harvest, right? That is owed to her, that is due to her because of all of the seeds that she has sown. So we're going to get to know the lady behind the event that y'all been seeing coming up with Deitrick Haddon and all of this, the fashion and faith and all of that. We're going to get to know Miss Latonya, her heart, and then share with you a little bit more information about what's coming up the first weekend in November. So without further ado, I'm gonna hush and I'm gonna bring up the amazing, the beautiful Latonya Baker. What's up, Tanya?
And I love the introduction. I'm in backstage cheesing like she's talking about me.
Right, exactly. So, like I said a mouthful, but why don't you just share with the people just a little bit about you before we start to talk about the event? Latonya Baker, trendsetters. We've heard that, and there's some other things that you've done. I think with a boutique. So, tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to this point.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your amazing show. I noticed you sitting across from me too, you and your beautiful mother. So it's anytime I'm in a room full of great women, especially Black women, I'm always honored to connect, network. I'm all about sisterhood. So again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm actually at a point in my life where the leveling up is so it's like a spiritual movement for me. It's not even just a business movement. It's such a spiritual movement to the point where I'm in tears sometimes just thinking about it, because I'm telling you, I look nothing like what I've been through. But what I've learned is, when my mom, before she died, God rest her soul, she told me, what you going through is not about you. And I get that now. So everything that I went through to get me to where I am now, when I'm talking to a young lady that was homeless, that was insecure, that was once verbally abused or wanted to give up and commit suicide, I can say to her, I went through that too, but look at me now. So I do consider myself a trendsetter because 12 years ago, I decided to break the cycle. And at that moment, I thought it was going to happen overnight. But yeah, God had another plan. He was like, you ain't ready yet. So let me take you through a little bit more. So I'm glad that I trust the process. And that's where I am at now. So I'm in a process of One, I have my wonderful prenatal care agency that is blooming.
Yeah.
Um, we have our travel agency that we're relaunching. My boutique that I'm relaunching, I'm so excited about that because when I first started, I didn't do things the right way. When I
Mhm.
did those amazing fashion shows, I walked away still broke and broken. So I had to
Mhm.
learn from all those mistakes to get me here. So that brings us to the Faith and Fashion Show and so much more that we have going on.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And so talk a little bit about that though. We talked we're like you said, we're moving into the faith and fashion that's coming up. I can't wait to talk about that piece and how people can register or buy tickets and everything that's happening there. But there was something that happened with you with fashion. Right.
Hmm.
At one point, you weren't. I'm not gonna say you weren't as fly because I got a feeling you was always flying your own way. But the way you dress changed. Talk a little bit about that transition from one to the other.
You know what? I was talking to my sister one day and I was talking about I said, do you remember how we used to play store? We used to play store, house, and school and
Mhm.
business. And it's crazy. All four of those games are existing in my life now. I have a boutique. I have, I love interior decorating. I have five businesses and I love education. So all those
Yes.
games that I played as a kid plays into my life as an adult.
Mhm.
When it came to fashion, I knew at an early age, even in high school, I didn't want to dress like everybody. You know,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
anytime there's like some type of new jeans or jacket or whatever coming out and everybody buys it, I buy the opposite. I try to be unique. Or if I do buy the same thing, I kind of change it up because I just always wanted to be unique. And I can remember even in my grandmother's closet, she would have like old blue jean skirts and I would cut them up and make them into purses. Didn't even realize what
Wow.
I was doing at the age of 5, making a purse. So it's very important that, those of us who are parents, you should be very leery about the type of games that your children play because what they're
Mhm.
exposed to can have a lot to do who they become as an adult. So the fashion
Sure.
piece, for me, I used to be very, very insecure. I was very, very, very overweight and insecure. My weight was always a big issue to me.
I
And
get that.
so
Mhm.
when I wore certain things, fashion pieces, it would get people's attention. Like, girl, where did those shoes come from? Or girl, this or girl. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
people like my fashion. So yeah. So when my mom passed, my sister had always talked about opening up a boutique, and when she opened the boutique, she named it Tiresia's Boutique. And I was like, I never really had a passion for opening up a boutique, but then when I saw her do it, I was like, you know what? I think I can do that. But I was like,
Yeah.
in order for me to do that, I want to do something big. I want to launch it. So I had a fashion show called Sister's Keeper. It was just myself and my sister. And we did the
Mhm.
fashion show and it was amazing. It was amazing. So I said, you
Yeah.
know what? I can keep doing it. So the next year I did another fashion show in Atlanta. I'm still my sister's keeper. So I just kind of kept going with it. So
I
it
love it.
fashion has been an outlet. Fashion is
Mhm.
definitely my passion. And what I did different with it, I don't just do a basic fashion show where you just come and you look at models walk up and down the runway. I
Right.
wanted to
Right.
bring awareness to things. I utilize fashion to bring awareness. So we brought awareness to domestic violence. We brought awareness to breaking the cycle. We brought awareness
Yeah.
to being light. What does that mean when you say I am light? So we just
Mm.
utilize the word. We use fashion to bring awareness to a lot of different things. Is let's get the crowd here with the fashion, but when they get here, we want them to leave impact. So, and that's what
I
we've been able to
love
do.
it. Oh my God. And then some. And I love that you're saying this because you're not new to this. Now COVID shut down a lot of things, and
Yeah.
so some people are we're kind of finally reopening and doing events. But like Miss Latonya ain't new to this. She's been doing these fashion shows and things like this. But now in this season, we're talking faith and fashion.
Yeah.
So what's the premise behind that? Like you said, in some of the other ones, it was domestic violence. Is
Mhm.
it just talk to us about faith and fashion and what that means?
Well, let me just say, T. Marie, the designer T. Marie of TMC, this was her idea, and she invited me to be a part of this, and I'm very grateful for that. So, shout out to T. Marie, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
She did come up with the name. I love the name. And when we were talking to the panelists, we were talking about. I said to them, um, "You need to have faith in your fashion." A lot of times people wear what they see everybody else wear, but it's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique and have
Hmm.
faith in that and set trends.
I love that.
Most of the people that wear what they see other people wear, they wear it because someone set a trend somewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
faith and fashion just goes hand in hand. Of course, because we have Deitrick Haddon performing, Tiffany Coleman, these are gospel artists or whatever. So of course we had to combine, what we have
Mm-hmm.
going on. This is the first fashion show I've ever done with a live performance. So, it just goes hand in hand.
I love it. And other part I think about it too is well, there's a couple things, and I do have a question. So with we think about our faith and fashion. With fashion, it brings about a certain level of creativity, right? And
Hmm.
so in the same way, sometimes even with our faith, we got to get creative. We
Hmm.
got to get creative with okay, God, I'm a faith for this, but what happens when the wait takes too long? Now what can I do? Or how do I continue to believe when things don't always look how I want it to look? How can I make this
Hmm.
piece or this material, that's all it is just a material, how can I turn this piece of material into a dress,
Right.
into a skirt, into right? So it does go hand in hand in that way. And so I love the fact that you're also bringing in the creative element of music. So Deitrick, why Deitrick Haddon? Where did that part come from? And those other
Oh
music
my
artists
God,
that you
why
mentioned?
not?
Why
Why
not?
not?
Okay, he the man.
First of all, let's just keep it clear that he's very handsome.
Yes, he is.
He's
And he's
very
very
talented.
stylish too. And he's very
He is.
stylish.
Again, he's very talented, and he loves fashion. He loves
Yes.
fashion. So it
Yes.
was just the
It
perfect
made sense.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm so excited. So let's talk a little bit about the wins, the wheres, and the how. So this is all
Mhm.
happening, y'all, next week, right? So talk to
Next
us.
week.
Yeah, what time, what place? And it's two
Yep.
days, right?
2 days. Yep. So we're going to be at Abundant Faith, which is where I am now.
Okay. Oh,
At Bible study, and I'm at Bible study in the hallway. But it's going to
okay.
be at Abundant Faith.
Don't get me, Pastor
I
Powell.
apologize, I don't know the address by heart, but we're
Oh,
right off of
okay.
76 in Good Hope in the old Pick and
Yeah.
Save store. So day one is going to be dress for success, and then we're also doing a panel discussion. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have vendor shopping, and we have an amazing vendor media room that my beautiful friend on here is a part of. So people can come and do the red carpet
I
interviews.
mean,
We
I'm
want people
excited
to feel
about
like,
that.
yeah, we want people to feel like they're like in Hollywood. I, this is my first major show that I'm doing in Milwaukee, even though I'm from Milwaukee. All of my shows have been in Atlanta. So I wanted to
Yeah.
bring a little bit of what I've learned in Atlanta. And Atlanta is all about just, just the Black Hollywood, hands down.
Right. We going
So
big,
yeah, I
going
wanted,
home. I think
yeah,
this is the address, right? 7830
yep,
West Good Hope.
7830 West Good Hope. Yep. So we're going to
Wonderful.
have, again, like I said, day one, we're going to do a panel discussion. We're going to do some demonstration, like fashion demonstration, just giving out tips about fashion. We're going to allow people to ask the panelists questions about fashion. We're Pastor Powell's my amazing pastor and leader. He's going to be leading the main focus of the panel discussion. We
Mhm.
also have a gospel TV show that's coming here from Chicago. That's going to record the whole event. They're going to go ahead
Oh,
and interview
wow.
Pastor Powell, interview myself and T. Marie. They're going to name him Pastor of the Month. A lot of media attention is going to be here. Vendors are going to be
Yes.
able to, I wanted to showcase the vendors. A lot of times, vendors, when they come set up at events, they kind of get
Mhm.
overlooked. They get maybe 30
Mhm.
minutes of
Mhm.
shine. So we wanted
Mhm.
to be able
Mhm.
to give them shout outs. We wanted to have them set up and get exposure and market themselves. We're going to do again dinner, giveaways, just a lot of stuff going on, just and give you a little snippet of what to expect that Saturday. So
Oh
day
my
two is
goodness.
the actual fashion show and live performances, and then we'll also still have the vendors set up as well.
Oh my God. And so I know you kind of mentioned about the relaunch of your boutique. Is this
Hmm.
going to be potentially launched on that day? Are we
Yep.
talking? I mean, will it?
Yep.
Okay. So will we be able to buy things specifically
Yeah.
from you on that day? This is what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Come on, Milwaukee. Let's get out. So again, we're looking at Faith and Fashion, y'all. This is a fashion show and concert. I absolutely love it. Oh, this is the question I wanted to ask before I kind of go through that. When we start to
Hmm.
think about faith and fashion, now you still have your naysayers. You got the folks that say you don't take all that, or let's bring that skirt a little bit lower, or let's not have a body con, or whatever the situation is. How you have your naysayers. So how do you handle the naysayers? And I guess the flip side of that question is, as a believer, is there still a certain way that we should be dressing, even with being fashion conscious? as a believer, is there still a way, especially as women, that we should be thinking when we're dressing?
That is actually what we're going to be discussing day one. And we're not
Oh,
even just going to
okay.
be talking about as women how we should dress. We have a lot of, most of the men, panelists are men. And
See?
when I had a meeting with the panelists, they told me things that I didn't even know. I don't style men. So I really wish I had knew a lot of this because I have boys and I was married at
See?
one point.
Yeah.
And I got to the point I was like, here go a gift card to this store to buy, because they were
Yeah.
more pickier than me. So I
Wow.
learned a lot from them just talking to them. Now, keep in mind, we will be in the church, so we definitely want to be respectful. But we're going to talk
Sure.
about things about, like, how do you dress at a funeral? How do you dress for a job interview?
That's
How do you
great.
dress for,
Etiquette.
just church, or just a basic casual look, date night? We're going to talk about things like that. We're not just going to
I
talk
think we
about
need I
church
feel like we
attire.
need an undergarment session because
Yeah,
because some of the we're not gonna put them on blast, but I'm just saying I can see all of the
yeah,
lines.
yeah.
I'm so
You
here
have
for it
people,
all.
this generation, Lord bless their soul, this generation has no idea how to dress for an interview. They wear bonnets to an
Wow.
interview. They wear smocks to an interview. And we're going to talk about these things. So,
They will
yeah.
literally wear, because that's one of the things that I do outside of this amazing work. I actually help people get jobs. And that is one of the things that I see. It is in because I also
Mhm.
help with soft skills. So some of the people that come in, I mean, they literally will have on pajama bottoms. And I'm like, man,
Mhm.
what job you about to get with your pajamas
Yeah.
on? And then why you going back home with your pajamas after you done been out in the world, right? But
Yeah.
again, you can't jump down people's throat because they if you don't know that, if they don't know, they don't know, and we're not teaching
Right.
it,
And
you
this is the
know.
school, they took it out of the schools. I know when I was in school, we had an actual counselor that taught us. We did mock interviews. They taught us how to
Mm-hmm.
dress for interviews. I learned a long time ago that you don't wear big earrings to an interview. You don't wear a lot of perfume to an interview. You don't wear a lot of jewelry to
Yeah.
an interview, loud makeup, things like that. But they don't teach
Yeah.
this these days. And we're living in a
Mm-mm.
generation where there's kids. These are the kids that had the kids. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh my
a
goodness.
lot of them don't know any better.
No, I love it. I love it. And so I love that this is the topics that we're having. I mean, there are all kinds of things that we need to be having discussions about, and faith in fashion is definitely up in the top 10 for sure. And so I'm so excited then November 5th and 6th, Faith and Fashion, the fashion show and concert is happening at Abundant Faith Church. That is at 7030 West Good Hope Road in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with special guest Deitrick Haddon. And if I'm not mistaken, is Reggie Brown up in there somewhere? What's going on with
He
Reggie?
is. Reggie
Oh,
Brown is one of the hosts, amazing host, one of my favorite hosts. And then also
yes.
Curtis Eubanks is the second host. So they're going to be tag teaming.
Oh, my favorite. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And so again, come as you are and leave different.
Yeah.
Leave
Let me
different.
just
Leave.
add too,
Yeah, yeah.
my host from Atlanta, Georgia is coming. She's going to be helping with the demonstration. She's going to be doing a makeup tutorial. Also going to be doing some
Okay.
red carpet interviews. Miss Nikki Mack. If you ever get a chance to go on my page and look at my previous show, the video from that, she hosts all my shows for the past 5 years. She's
So
amazing.
from head to toe, we're about to get our whole look ready for beyond just. I mean, so we're gonna be ready for church. We're gonna be ready for our dates with our boo. We're gonna be ready for work. We're gonna be ready for wherever we need to show up. This is one thing that I used to say to some of the folks I teach soft skills to. You have to dress how you want to be addressed. Would you agree?
Hmm.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because people we don't know. Like,
And,
but you
and
want
and
respect,
how
but you
you
don't show
dress
up that
is
way.
who you are. Yeah. How we dress is who we are. One of my employees said to me the other day, because I had on a jock, and said, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "I'm not used to you wearing a jogging suit." I'm like, "I'm okay."
Yes, yes, yes. Come on, son. Son, mama's on the interview. No, I hear you. And that's the thing. I love what you're saying, though, because again, when we're talking about faith in fashion, we're talking about fashion. It's, on a given day, it might be that I'm dressed to the nine. I got my lashes, I got my hair done. And there might be another day that I still show up and it's still me, but I'm dressed down. Maybe I don't have on makeup, but I still am showing up ready
Hmm.
for whatever the day is bringing. I love it. And I'm so excited about being a part of Faith and Fashion on next week. as well as all of the amazing things that are going to be happening. So before we go, for those people that are on the fence about coming, or how do they register, or how do they pay? How does it all work? Tell
Yeah,
us about that.
they can definitely go to eventbrite.com and just search the show name Faith and Fashion, or go to my page. It's all over my page. But
Yes.
tickets are being sold on Eventbrite. They can buy tickets at the door. We would prefer you to purchase them online, definitely, because we're
Yeah.
still in the pandemic. But
There we
Eventbrite is
go.
the place to go.
No, I love it. I love it. And so again, let's see. I want to make sure that I have it 100% right. So again, we got Faith and Fashion, y'all. It is happening next week. That's November 5th and 6th at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
at Abundant Faith Church, 7830 West Good Hope Road. You guys don't want to miss it. Deitrick Haddon is going to be in the building, I think at least on Saturday night.
Yep, and Tiffany
And then
Coleman.
Tiffany Coleman, and
Mhm.
then we got Reggie Brown and Curtis that are going to be hosting, and a slew of other amazing folks. Come and get interviewed with your girl in the media room. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Come on in. It's going to be happening. So, any parting words for the people before we wrap it up today?
I'm just want to say that I'm excited. Again, this is my first main show that I'm headlining in Milwaukee, and I know I'm going to have to bring it, because you have to be prepared for where you're from. Because if not, people going to talk about you. So I'm
They're
not.
going
I
to talk
promise you,
about you
I won't
either
let y'all
way.
down. You
And
won't
we
leave
know
here the
it.
same way you came.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much, Tanya, for joining us. I will
My
be there
pleasure.
with you next week. And you guys, listen, connect with us in Saved in the City Christian Network, either on the main page or the group page. And I will put the links right in the group so you can click and go right from there. So again, Latanya, thanks so
Amazing.
much for joining us. God bless you,
Thank you
my
for having me.
sister. Yes, and thank you guys for joining us on another Saved in the City pop-up interview. Stay tuned. Listen, we're on social media only for a little while because the network is in full effect. Listen, y'all, we're on Roku TV, we're on Amazon TV, we're on, or is that the Fire Stick? God, I'm still learning how it all works. And so there's going to be ways that you can just download right on your TV. And we're just in the interim, y'all, transitioning from radio to streaming networks. So please keep me in your prayers as we expand, as we grow. God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all things, above all you can ask or think. So whatever it is that you think that you want to do, I'm telling you, you believe it, you put that faith behind it, and you can be doing a faith and fashion conference as well. You can have a network, whatever the thing is that you want. I'm telling you, God is waiting on you to say, let's go. All right. I love you guys with the love of the Lord, and I'll see you next time.